6th-ranked UFC featherweight Calvin Kattar. Calvin, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Who am I talking to?
You're talking with Neil with the PR team, but you'll be speaking with a number of journalists from around the world today.
All right, great.
We'll go first to Simic Dada with Sportskita. Your line is open.
Hey, Calvin. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing well.
Doing well, thanks.
So you mentioned recently that your goal for 2021 is to go 3-0. Given that you get the victory over a former featherweight champion in Max Holloway, do you feel that the title shot should be your next fight?
My goal is for 2020 to go 3-0, and I get to do that 2 weeks. My 2021 doesn't start till after the Max fight, but yeah, I don't know what else you could do other than go on a 3-fight win streak and take out the number one contender trying to earn a title shot.
Okay, stylistically, everyone's been talking about this fight. Max, of course, has landed the most significant strikes in a fight. You're known for your clinical boxing as well, but also you have a reach advantage over him. Do you feel that personally that gives you an advantage heading into this fight?
I mean, reach helps. Reach helps. Mindset helps. Wanting more than them helps. I'm going to take all three in there with me in the octagon and just do what I got to do to get my hand raised.
And you've also been training with Rob Font ahead of this fight, and he recently secured a big win in the last UFC event of 2020. I just wanted to get your thoughts on his win over Marlon Moraes.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. So, somehow he finds a way to improve after a year layoff with an injury. Comes out looking better than ever. And I did train with him for this fight all the way up until he had his fight, because now I can't train with him because he's too heavy.
Okay, last question for me. You've always mentioned that at the end of the day, what matters the most for you is to get your hand raised, no matter how you do it. But I got to ask you this. Do you feel a stoppage win over former champion like Holloway makes a big statement to the rest of the division?
It'd be a crazy statement over a guy that's never been finished. I mean, you make him take a fall even, it's a big thing. Max Holloway is the real deal, and I get to go out and prove that I'm next in line on Saturday night.
Okay, I look forward to a fight, sir, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press. Your line is open.
Hello, Calvin. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you. I want to ask, second time over there on Fight Island, how was the experience of the trip and the process from the first time around helped you this time for this week?
Just knowing what to expect as far as the long travel time. The heat's a little different. It was 115 degrees the last time we were here, but still pretty hot. I think we're in the 90s. The bubble got a little smaller. We're not able to hit the beach and do the F1 racing, so I'm glad I got it out of the way the first time around. And now it's just strictly business trip and a big opportunity with Max Holloway on Saturday night.
A lot of people have really just gone over and over Max's last two fights with Volkanovski. I want to know, how much have you watched them, and what did you think of his adjustments from the first one to the rematch?
I thought he made great adjustments. Yeah, everyone's quick to write you off after a 2-fight skid, even if it is to the current champ, So I'm ready to fight the best Max Holloway that stepped foot in the octagon, and I'm ready for 25 minutes. Finish would be great, but I'm just looking to go get my hand raised, and a win over Max Holloway, like you said, puts me next in line. So I'm just focused on a win over him.
It's no secret when you go out there, people know it's going to be a good show and that you bring it. The fans coming back, is there more pressure to put on a show knowing that there is a little bit more of that energy when they see you get out there this Saturday?
Maybe for some people, but for myself, I'm not really focused on that. The only pressure I put on myself, or that I feel, is the pressure that I put on myself, is the internal pressure. I don't focus on the external pressure. And, I'm just ready to take on Max Holloway, the crowd. And ABC is all a plus, but I'm not focused on it.
My last question, just a little bit of a prediction. Who do you think will win in the title fight that they expect with Volkanovski and Brian Ortega?
I was just saying before, I'm really not there mentally yet. I'm just focused on Max Holloway, and to give either of those guys any of my attention right now would be a discredit to Max.
Okay, thank you, Calvin. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Louise Green with MMA Crazy. Your line is open.
Hi, Calvin. You had a great year last year, 2 solid wins. Can you talk a little bit about your journey so far to get to this point? And, what were your first thoughts when this matchup with Max was put forward to you?
Can you see through the video camera? By any chance, can you guys see? Yeah, all right.
Yep.
This will tell you part of my story. Right here. It took a long road to get here. Last 2 fights, wound up a broken nose. 15 years in the game, busting my ass, earning every opportunity in front of me. And Max is a tough test, but the opportunities, they only get bigger. The stage never gets smaller off a win. And, we're right here. Everything I ever want is right in front of me. Win over Max Holloway puts me next in line for the belt.
And, what are your thoughts on Max Holloway as a former champ and, what he has achieved in his career so far at featherweight? And how much would it mean to you to be able to get a win over him on Saturday?
It's huge. Max Holloway is the #1 featherweight fighter in the world right now, and he's the #8 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So a win over him is huge. Even just it's a great checkpoint to even be competing against a guy like him. I feel like we earned this opportunity, and a win over him, like I said, puts me next in line. So it's huge.
And you mentioned a little bit there about his past performances against Volkanovski and how he adjusted there. But what do you think you can expect to see from him on Saturday night?
I could expect to see the best Max Holloway. You don't take a 0-2 skid, close loss to the champ, and come back worse. I'm sure he's hungry, he's motivated, and I'm ready for the best Max Holloway.
All right. Well, good luck. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic. Your line is open.
How are you, sir?
I'm great, thank you.
Great. Slight change of weather there, Calvin, from Massachusetts to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I'm hoping to miss a couple snowstorms. It's always a plus when you can not have to shovel.
Fantastic. The first question I wanted to ask you, you've been in the UFC a relatively short time and got into a main event quite quickly. What do you credit that success to, or that push from the promotion itself?
Yeah, I think it's just sink or swim here in the UFC, and I'm not about to, put 15 years in my career just to see it end so quick. That's what happens. You put in the work, you earn these opportunities, you're ready when they come, and I feel like I'm just fighting like a guy with purpose, and I see everything that I've wanted right in front of me, and it's just forced me to triple down on the work, which is what got me here, and I'm excited to just go compete against the best.
Fantastic. Obviously, your second main event in Abu Dhabi, bigger opponent, bigger platform, fans coming back. What would you say is different for yourself personally about this main event in terms of style and yourself personally as a mixed martial artist?
I feel like I'm constantly improving every time I step in there. Since 2017, I feel like I've gotten better than I feel like I've improved more since 2017 than I have in my whole career. And that's just credit to my team. I got the best team in the world with me. New England Cartel, Tyson Chartier, Rob Font. I'm out here with Jake Manini and my brother Jameson. We're out here chasing down goals relentlessly. And, I'm with the arm's reach of that belt, and Max Holloway's in my way.
Would you say that the style that Max Holloway presents for yourself, you and Max Holloway, the styles involved, would you say that this is the kind of style that would make for a fight of the night sort of style?
I prefer performance of the night. So, fight of the night, you both take a beating, but it is what it is, man. You got to do what you got to do to get the hand raised, and that's all I'm focused on.
Last one for me, Calvin. You've spoken about getting through Max Holloway, gets you straight into belt contention. You mentioned a bit earlier on, I think in the week before, that a good KO over Max Holloway puts you perfectly in line for the title. Do you think a KO is necessary, or an emphatic win is necessary to put your hand up in a pretty stacked division?
Not over Max. Maybe against weaker competition, you might have to look impressive. But a win over Max is impressive in itself.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Damon Martin with MMAfighting.com. Your line is open.
Hey, Calvin. A lot has been said about, Max's place in the history of the featherweight division, and obviously no disrespect whatsoever to the current champ, Alexander Volkanovski. Is there something to be said that maybe you're facing, an even tougher challenge here, an even bigger fight with a guy like a Max Holloway?
Meaning, is he coming more prepared this time?
Meaning in terms of like the magnitude of this fight. I mean, he may not have the belt, but a lot of people believe he's the greatest featherweight of all time.
Exactly, yeah. And for me, like I said, I always have that uncrowned champ mentality. And the win over Max Holloway gives me that. It's that people still think he's a champ, like you said. So I then would legitimately become the uncrowned champ, and then from there, it only makes sense to take on the winner of that fight coming up in February, March next.
Generally speaking, one of the things that Max does so well is he really uses his cardio and conditioning to push the pace. And it seems like we've seen it in a lot of his fights. He actually ups the output in rounds 3, 4, and 5, which is typically what you're not supposed to do. Now, you're one of the few guys who actually seems to match that. You seem to, up your intensity and up your output as the fight goes on. Do you feel like that's actually something that actually makes this a better fight for you in a 5-round fight? Because again, Max is used as a weapon so many times, but you're actually one of the guys who seems to do that as well.
Yeah, I think it all depends also, how efficient you're fighting. You can have the most in shape guys, look like it all depends, man. Sometimes the pressure gets to them and they get that energy dump or they fight inefficiently and they look exhausted by the third round. Styles make fights. Like I said, we're prepared for the pressure and volume Max Holloway brings. And we expect to fight the best Max Holloway there is.
And last one for me, Calvin. When you fought Zabit Magomedsharipov, kind of in a short notice main event, we saw how that third round went for you and how a lot of people believe if you had actually had more time, that would have been a big win for you. But that being said, when you think about that fight, over a year ago and then where you've come from then, can you kind of give me an idea like how much better you feel, how much more confident you feel going into a main event like this versus just that fight, a couple fights ago?
Yeah, just that I've been here before now. This is my third main event. Even that fight, I think it was just minimal tactical errors. I don't think he really outclassed me. I think it was a close fight. And Max is coming off a close L right now. I'm sure he's hungry, motivated, but so isn't the guy that doesn't have all the accolades looking for that title. So it's going to make for a great main event. And the fans should be, excited about tuning in for this one, especially since it's for free and all next year the pay-per-view is going up.
Thanks, Calvin.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll go next to Omar Mert with S-Sport. Your line is open.
How are you?
Great. Thanks. How you doing?
Thanks, man. MMA Junkie choose your coach as the coach of the year, Tyson Chartier. What would you like to say about your coach?
Shout out MMA Junkie, knowing what's up. It's great. Tyson's got the same mentality as me and Rob. We're out here with something to prove, chip on our shoulder. And people think that this award probably happened for him overnight, but he's been in the game just as long, put in the work, put in the hours, and it's a credit to him and the work he's done to get this checkpoint for him, and it's well deserved.
Some of the MMA fans think you can beat Zabit in a 5-round match. What do you think about this idea, this comment?
Which ones don't? I'm kidding. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No. Okay. What do you think about this idea, this comment?
Yeah, I mean, it's over and done. When I get the opportunity to go against him next, we'll see what's up. We'll see who, which we're right and which we're wrong. But I think, like I said, minimal tactical errors was wrong in that fight. And I'm excited to get another shot at him.
Okay. Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA. Your line is open.
Hi, Calvin. I just want to ask you about Max. He's known for having, a granite chin. Does that kind of influence your tactics for the fight? You're known as a puncher. Do you maybe take some off the shots because he's probably not going to go down, or do you just try and test it?
It's a good question, man. I wonder what he's thinking going against mine. You know, I feel like I got the same problem he got. It's gonna make for a hell of a fight.
And does your last fight against Dan Ige, does that prepare you for this fight? You know, another guy who just wouldn't go away. You know, you were putting it on him as the fight progressed, and you couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah, those Hawaiians are tough, man. Dan Ige got a coconut head, man. He's a tough dude, and that's another one who's got that chip on his shoulder, fighting for something, you know. And anybody that steps in there, you know, fighting for a purpose, they're tough to take out. And I feel like every fight's prepared me for this moment.
Okay, and a couple of people have just touched on the Max Volkanovski 2 fight, and you've kind of mentioned it was a close loss, but what did you make of the actual decision? Because it was quite controversial at the time.
At the time, I could have thought it might have gone Max's way, but I did have to give the champ credit for stepping up in the 5th round, landing some late takedowns. But yeah, close fight, could have went either way, and that's what happens when you're fighting the best guys in the world. That's why I don't put too much stock in the fact of him going 0-2 in his last 2, and I'm prepared to fight the best Max Holloway that's stepped in the octagon on Saturday.
Yeah, just finally from me, on Saturday, you know, have you given yourself a chance to, you know, think about with a win, what you do when you get the mic and it's the biggest moments of potentially your career? Have you thought about that moment and what you might do with it?
Hopefully I don't do something stupid, but I visualize getting my hand raised and the mic, but I don't know what I'm going to say when I do it. I just visualize getting my hand raised, and you got to earn that opportunity to speak in the mic. And I always keep that in mind every time I step in there. So I don't get ahead of myself. Got to get the hand raised first.
Okay, well, good luck. Can't wait to watch.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Cote Cruz with Fordwin MMA. Your line is open.
Hey, Calvin, do you hear me?
Yes, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for your time. You've coming from a very successful 2020 for you and your team. 2 wins, 1 tremendous stoppage in your fight against Jeremy Stevens. Your teammate Rob Font had an amazing performance as well against Moraes. What do you attribute the current success of the New England cartel to?
Hard work, day in, day out. Just keep our head down, go to work every day. These opportunities don't just appear, you know, you got to go out and get them. And yeah, I thought he looked great. I thought to have that year layoff, somehow this kid finds a way to improve. And I know he's the best bantamweight in the world. You guys just, you know, you guys are finding out now, and he just needs the opportunity to go out and prove that. And I think he did in his last time he stepped in there.
You've said coming into this fight that you're in the right place, right where you want to be. Right now, you're coming back to Fight Island, a place that seems to have some very special properties in terms of getting a guy over, right? A big win here can take a fighter to new heights. Now that you're the main event and the return of the organization to Abu Dhabi, what kind of feelings does this bring up to you during fight week?
Just really, I try not to really think about all that. I just think I simplify it. I just focus on Max Holloway, tough fighter, and I got to go out and be the best Calvin Kattar there is to get the job done. That's it, plain and simple. I just got to go out and be the better fighter.
Well, you said that Max Holloway was looking past you during the build-up to this fight. Is this something that you still feel?
I said he talks a lot about the champ, and to overlook me would be a mistake. Everyone's asking him in the interviews probably a lot about the former champ, you know, and he's responding. And my answer to that is just, you know, all this talk about the former champ, you know, to overlook me would be a mistake. And that's what it is.
Absolutely. Well, a very fun side of Fight Island is the hospitality. You posted a series of stories with the welcome kit you got at the hotel. Can you comment on all these little details that the organization in Abu Dhabi prepare for you guys? Does it make it special for you and the team?
Grab me that box. You guys got to see this. This is...
What do you got, Calvin? What are you going to show me?
I just came from the other thing. Man, this is popcorn, right? And that's a donut in there. There's a donut and M&Ms in this popcorn. I don't know if you can see it, but it's ridiculous. And this is just one of the many things that the W in Abu Dhabi has to offer.
How much of a temptation is that right now, man?
Yeah, it's a lot of temptation. And Man, I can't wait post-fight to dig in. But that little chocolate figurine they made, it was over the top. It was great. I wish there was some left. But I was rooming with Rob, and I don't think that there's any of it left anymore. He ate the whole cage. He ate Max. Max didn't have a hand left.
Calvin Kattar throwing people under the bus.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is, man. He threw me under the bus all yesterday. You should hear the shit he's saying out here, man. He's feeling froggy, and I'm sick of it.
Fair enough. Well, last question for me. You come to this fight as a slight underdog. Do you feel the odds makers are missing on something? What do you feel most people don't perceive in you as a fighter right now?
I don't care about the line, but being the underdog, I'm used to that role, and I almost prefer it. You know, like you said, you guys talk about pressure. Who's got more pressure? Me coming fight number one guy in the world, or the number one guy fighting me? You know, he's got a lot to handle. He's coming off 2 losses to the champ, and he doesn't have an easy task with me coming in Saturday night.
Well, thank you so much, Calvin, for your time. Best of luck in your fight.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Calvin. You're all set.
All right, appreciate you guys.
And we will be joined next by UFC welterweight Matt Brown. We are now joined by UFC welterweight Matt Brown. Matt, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll take our first questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Your line is open.
Hey, Matt. It feels like people have been talking about this fight forever. How does it feel for you to finally be days away from getting in there with Carlos?
It feels like I'm days away from getting into a fight, so the opponent doesn't really change anything.
You've trained to fight him in 2013, then again in 2018. How has the training and strategy for him as an opponent changed over the years, if at all?
I don't even barely remember those camps, to be honest. Like, I'm worried, or I'm focused on where I'm at right now, and I'm in a good place right now, and I feel great, and I'm gonna go in there and do some big things on Saturday.
You've been in there with just about everybody in the welterweight division who's been a big name. Carlos is going to be another one. Are there still guys that you're looking to add to your resume, or is it just about taking who they give you?
We'll go fight by fight, man. Right now I'm focused on this fight. We'll worry about that maybe Sunday.
When people see you on the bill, they know that it's going to be a good show. What does it mean for you to get the platform, not only for the first card with fans back, but also you get to put on a show on the ABC network here in the U.S.?
And as more people get to see the skills that I built, and more people get to see me beat up with Carlos.
Hey, thank you, Matt. Good luck.
We'll go next to Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic. Your line is open.
Matt, how are you, sir?
Very good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. First one off the bat, Matt, it's obviously been many a year with the promotion. Firstly, what motivates you at the moment, at this point in your career, to keep on going and get out of bed and put yourself through all the grueling training and nutrition and all that's required?
Well, I love all that stuff, so that's not even hard to do. But my main motivation is my kids, man, and that's easily my biggest inspiration. You know, I want to show them you can do anything you want to do, man, with hard work and commitment and dedication.
Fantastic. And how much would you say, or what would you say has changed most about MMA in your very long career?
I think just bigger, you know, I think that's the biggest thing. There's more athletes, there's more like a more diverse set of fighters, I guess. Some more challenges out there.
Awesome. Looking back, if you go a little bit forward and a little bit back to look over your career as a whole, how important does having a W over someone like Carlos Condit have for you? Is that an important factor for you, or is it just another fight?
He'd be a good feather in the cap, that's for sure. But, you know, every fight's big, man. Every fight's the biggest fight. So, you know, to me, he's another guy standing in front of me. He just unfortunately got me at a bad time, man. Like I'm feeling the best that I've ever felt. I think my skills are coming together better than they've ever come together. I'm dialed in. I'm sharp. I'm on point. So it's going to be a great night.
Fantastic. Obviously, you're someone in quite a great position to give youngsters or future generations of MMA athletes some advice. So what would be your key point of advice to youngsters on the rise?
I guess it would be dependent. Yeah, everybody would need some different advice. It would depend on where they're at in their career, what they're doing right now. You know, there's a lot of factors. It's not a simple question to answer, but very case dependent.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Sumik Dada with Sportskeeda. Your line is open.
Hey, Matt, happy belated birthday, and I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, thank you.
So right off the bat, you mentioned in the past that when you first fought in an empty arena, it kind of threw you off. But how does it feel to know that the fans will be back in attendance for this event?
You know, it threw me off, but I think I let it throw me off. And this time around, I've already put in my mind, I'm not letting anything throw me off.
So someone like you who's been around in the game for a while, you've reached that veteran level status, and I think the same could be said for Carlos Condit as well. Personally, what do you think of this matchup?
I think he's a perfect guy to be standing across the octagon from me for me to showcase all my abilities, all my skills, and everything I've been working on.
So the last time one of your fights went to a decision was way back in 2015, which was 8 fights ago against Johnny Hendricks. That being said, could we expect another finish from you this weekend?
Most likely. I think I'm going to finish him. But who knows? You can't predict a fight. Who knows what's going to happen? I think I'm going to dominate him, whether it's a finish or not. It's be a matter of, I guess, how tough he is.
Last question from me. At the age of 40, you're still going strong in the octagon. What keeps Matt Brown going at this age, and what is your prime source of motivation?
I think it's really about my kids, man. You know, that's really what my whole life revolves around, more so than anything else. So inspiring them, motivating them, making them, letting them watch their dad go out there and do great things, and showing them that they can do great things with just a lot of hard work and motivate and commitment.
Thank you for your time, and good luck for your fight this weekend.
Absolutely.
We'll go next to Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA. Your line is open.
Hi, Matt. I just want to get your opinions on Condit's last performance. Obviously, he snapped that long losing streak, and did you see it, and what did you make of it?
You're cutting out. I couldn't understand you.
Sorry. I just want to get your opinion on Condit's last performance. You know, obviously, he snapped a long losing streak, and I just want to see if you saw the fight and what did you make of it?
I saw the fight. Yeah, I thought he looked pretty good, a little sharper than he had. Thought he had the right opponent in front of him for him to be able to fight the way that he fought. I'm not that guy, though.
And on fight night, what version of Condit are you expecting? You know, obviously he doesn't appear to be in his peak right now, but what version are you expecting?
Of course, I'm expecting the best Carlos Condit. I think he's going to train hard and he's going to be prepared for me. I mean, yeah, you know, again, I'm not these other guys, man. You know, these guys, they're going to train hard for someone like me. They know what I'm bringing to the table. They're going to train hard. But it doesn't matter what version of Condit comes out there. You know, I'm coming out myself, the best Matt Brown that you've ever seen. So what does it matter what Carlos Condit brings?
And just finally, Diego Sanchez is looking for a retirement fight, an opponent. I just wondered if you got any interest in potentially running back with him.
If he wants to, not.
Okay, well, thanks for your time.
We'll go next to Omer Mert with S Sport. Your line is open.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
Very good.
Matt, MMA changing every day, but you are still here. How does it make you feel?
I don't have a certain feeling towards it, I guess. I just do me, man. I go in every day to try to get 1% better than I was yesterday. So I don't have I guess I don't see a feeling as to how it feels. I mean, this is what I do, man, and it's what I love doing. And I feel very blessed that I've been able to do it for so long, and my brain's still functioning and my heart's still beating and still going strong.
Are you satisfied with your workouts you done during the pandemic period? Do you think it's enough for this opponent?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I feel great, man. I feel better than I've ever felt. I think everything's coming together very good right now, and I'm very happy with where I'm at, and my preparation was very good and on point, and I'm dialed in, I'm sharp, and I can't wait to get out there on Saturday.
Thank you. Good luck on Saturday, Matt.
Thank you.
And we'll take our final questions from Cote Cruz with Ford One MMA. Your line is open.
Mr. Brown, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Good to talk to you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
There's a lot of politeness between you and Carlos. It feels, though, like a little bit of a tense state of calm. You're both fierce competitors. What do you attribute this to? Do you respect Carlos as an opponent?
Of course I respect Carlos. You know, I've been a big fan of his. He's one of my favorite fighters, man. I love watching him fight. I always cheer for him when he's fighting. It's just unfortunately for him, he's got to deal with me this weekend. And, you know, it's after I beat him up, you know, I'm probably going to be sad in the back that I beat him up so bad. But I'm okay with that.
It's part of the business, I guess, right? How have you felt during your stay in Abu Dhabi? What are your impressions about Fight Island in general?
Well, so far I've seen every piece of the hotel about 20 times. So I don't have a lot of impressions to give you on that, to be honest.
I see. Well, during your preparation for this fight, you had the chance to work with Dorian Price, Mickey Gall, AJ Dobson. We even saw you with UFC Hall of Famer Mark Coleman. What is like on the daily with that crew?
I love all those guys, man. They're all great people. Everybody brings everybody up. And, of course, Coleman, man, he's the best motivator out there, man. I love that guy. Yeah, he's a legend, and he's a legendary motivator. So, yeah, a good crew around me, good people. Everybody's feeling good, feeling strong. So, it's like I said, it's all coming together, man.
Well, we know this fight could be complete chaos if you keep it standing up, but your opponent has a very sneaky ground game as well. How do you see it going if you end up on the ground? Do you feel you have the advantage there?
I have the advantage everywhere in this fight.
Well, you've become an entrepreneur in this stage of your career as well. You've opened Immortal Martial Arts Center in Ohio. You have now your own brand of coffee, Immortal Coffee. You're all around the place, man. What is it like to balance the business ventures and the training? Do you see this business as part of something bigger for the future?
Yeah, of course, I want my business to grow and be part of something bigger, but it's all about just having the right people around you to help out, man, delegate properly, and that way you can focus on what you got to focus on.
I see. Final question from me. What do you say to the fans that feel that you might be close to retirement after this fight?
Well, it might be. Who knows? I'm focused on one day right now. I'm focused on Saturday. We'll worry about what comes next after that.
Well, sir, I'm excited for this fight. It's been a long time coming, so thank you for your time. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Matt. You're all set.
Thank you.
We'll be joined next by UFC middleweight Dusko Todorovic. We are now joined by UFC middleweight Dusko Todorovic. Dusko, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hello, guys. Thank you for this interview.
We'll take our first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Your line is open.
Hello, Dusko. How are you?
Hello, Gabriel. I'm very good. Thanks for asking.
I know it took a while for you to finally make your UFC debut last year. Is it safe to say you want to be more active in 2021?
Yeah, it definitely was a long trip to my debut. Unfortunately, due to COVID and everything, But definitely, I would definitely like to be more active in 2021. As long as I'm healthy and I can prepare, I get enough time to prepare and just give my maximum. I'm down for it, I'd like to have at least 2 or 3 fights in 2021. That would be great.
I've been following your Instagram. You look like you're enjoying Fight Island. You're getting a lot of time by the pool. You look very relaxed. How would you describe the emotions for this fight and this week?
Yeah, definitely enjoying here at Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. It's great experience, and I was definitely looking forward coming here when I got the information that the whole event is going to take place on Fight Island. I was definitely delighted, and I love it here. It's very nice, warm, and the staff at W Hotel is really great. The whole organization and treatment that fighters get is also top notch. So I'm definitely enjoying my time here and making the most of it.
People are obviously talking a lot. You're undefeated. He's undefeated. You're on this great win streak. Some fighters talk about this. Do you feel pressure every fight to keep that 0 and stay undefeated?
Well, it's my goal definitely to stay undefeated throughout my whole career, and there is always pressure. Even when I was 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 10-0, there is always, a bit of pressure that you feel, but that never goes away. You just learn how to deal with that, and I believe I'm dealing with that pressure pretty well. I have just learned to cope with it and just to control my thoughts, and I'm in control at the end of the day of my thoughts and my body, and I pick what to think. So that I don't let it to pressure me that much and to influence my preparation or my performance at the fight itself. So I think I have pretty good control over it, and it doesn't affect me that much.
Hey, thank you, Dusko. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Gabriel.
We'll go next to Omar Mert with Esport. Your line is open.
Hello.
Hello, Dusko. How are you?
Hello, Omar. I'm very good. Thanks for asking. How have you been?
Dusko, how does it feel to be an undefeated fighter?
Well, it feels great, and I'll do all in my power to make it remain that way.
Okay. What do you think about your opponent? What plan did you prepare against him on Saturday?
That I can't tell you exactly, but yeah, I think he's very, very good opponent, very dangerous guy, definitely, and he's undefeated for a reason actually, and yeah, I'm definitely thinking that he's very good and has a big wrestling background. As I understood, that he wrestled in college, so that's pretty big for a fighter to have. And also in his fights he showcased his striking, which is very dangerous, his striking style that is very dangerous. So yeah, I respect him very much, and I believe he's going to be a tough opponent, and it's going to be a good contest.
My last question, Dusko, you are from Serbia. Do you know any promising talent from Serbia?
There are plenty of talent that are down the road UFC material, and that are right now UFC material. We have a lot of professional fighters in our gym back in Belgrade in Sekutor Academy. We have lots of guys that are definitely UFC material that have sort of, with my success, came to our club, and they seen the potential that my club has, that my coach Jovan Milicevic and Aleksandar Milicevic have, their knowledge as well. And I think anyone who really wants to make something out of their MMA career, who wants to down the line do something big, something serious, I think that they definitely should come to our gym, because we have results, we have the, let's say now, even a pattern of preparations for the big fights. And I believe that in a couple of years there will be a lot more people coming from Serbia to the UFC, and I think that even now lots of them have big potential, and in a couple of years you'll see there will be a lot of young recruits from Serbia, and not just Serbia, the whole region, whole Balkans is stacked with potential and good fighters.
Okay, thank you, Dusko. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much, Omar. Bye-bye.
We'll take our final questions from Cote Cruz with Fordwin MMA. Your line is open.
Hello, Dusko. How you doing?
Hello, Cote. Very good. Thanks for asking. How you been?
I've been fantastic. Thank you for your time with us today.
Yeah,
you made your UFC debut in impressive fashion, but your first fight was in the context of a pandemic, so there were no audience in the stands. Now, for the first time in a long time, there will be screaming in the stands again. How was your experience in that fight, and what do you think of the return of the fans to the show?
Well, definitely, it's a much better experience, to say at least, when you have the fans and when there's a crowd for this particular event, and also the whole series of events that are going to take place on Fight Island. There's going to be a limit of 2,000 people, I think. So, yeah, it's not really what we used to, but I think it's a step in a good way, and definitely it's going to be a better experience for fighters, for people who are watching it, even for people who are watching it on their TVs. So it's going to be great. I have myself had the opportunity to once be on a UFC event in Zagreb a couple of years back, and the arena was sold out. It was full, and just the experience of the energy from the crowd and everything, it was amazing. It was just great. So yeah, can't wait when the whole crowd when it will be safe for the whole crowd to come back to watch in live. But yeah, it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I guess we're all waiting for that to happen. The fans coming back in massive numbers. Well, you're undefeated and you're undoubtedly one of the most promising and dangerous up-and-coming fighters at 185. Could you talk to me about who you draw inspiration from in your career? What fuels your current pursuit?
Well, for me, the inspiration, the fuel, it's just purely love for the sport and the competitiveness I have in myself. So, you know, this sport in particular is not something that you can do for 10 years and say you've learned it all, you know. It's, even if you had 2 or 3 lives and spend them on learning and training MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and everything that comes with it, you'll never be at 100%. You will never learn it all. So I definitely love training, love learning new stuff, and that's what, let's say, drives me of being better every day, of improving and staying on the mats, you know. And definitely when you mix competitiveness, when you put competitiveness in the mix, it's just a recipe for success, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely those 2 things are very important.
Well, you fought last October while Soriano's last fight was in December 2019. Do you think being more active than him will play an important role in this fight?
Well, I've had maybe, also more than a year layoff myself. So I've said it before, I don't think that the layoff itself is going to impact that much on his performance or anyone's performance in that matter. As long as you are staying in a gym, as long as you're working, there's no reason for that to impact your performance, in my opinion. And I think he's been training, and I think that he was definitely on the mats and improving. So there's no reason for me to think that he'll be more or less ready because of the long layoffs. You know, I've had in my career, once first time was like more than a year and a half layoff between fights, and then after that a year or more between my last fight and at Contender Series and fight in October. So that don't have to mean anything, in my opinion, as long as you're training and staying ready.
Well, you're the only fighter who's finished Michel Pereira, which shows us that you've already faced highly touted competition. What's your opinion on the current landscape of the middleweight division, and how many fights do you think you'll need to get into the rankings?
My team and I definitely had good tactics against Michel Pereira, and were able to capitalize on that pretty fast in round 1 and get a finish. And as far as the rankings go and me going through the rankings, UFC's middleweight division is, I think you'll agree, pretty much stacked with potentials and talents right now. So I don't expect to do 1, 2, 3 fights and then be called in top 15, you know. I think I'm going to have to earn my place there, and it's going to take some time, but you know, I'm not in a hurry or in a rush. I'm going to take my time, fight as a fight, and I believe that in maybe year or 2, I will be in top 15, top 10 ranked fighter.
Well, Dana White, the big boss man, highlighted your fight as one of the most exciting on the card. How do you feel about this, and how motivated are you knowing that in your second fight they already have their eyes on you?
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise when I saw on my phone that Dana, in his If You Don't Know Now You Know series, he highlighted Punahele and me as the exciting fight for fans to watch. So yeah, I'm definitely glad that my success and my hard work is recognized by the big boss, and the matchmakers and everybody. So yeah, it definitely feels good to know that.
Well, final question from me. You currently train at Sekitor MMA with its founder, Jovan Milicevic. Do you have any plans to train simultaneously in a high-performance gym in the United States?
Well, it's for a long time been my dream and my coach's dream to prove everybody that you can train in Serbia, you can train in Belgrade, Serbia, and come to the UFC. It was a bit hard to believe that at the beginning, but we proved that it can be done, that you can be a successful fighter and compete at the highest level from Belgrade, Serbia, So we wanna, come to some high level and attract more and more Serbian guys to come to our gym and to also share that dream with us. We want to prove that you don't have to go to some fancy camp or where everybody's training, to go over the border and to train there because you've seen someone on Instagram training there and you think that alone will improve your game by some crazy amount. I think the most important thing in a fighter's career is his coach, who he spends the most time with. For me, it's that coach is Jovan Milicevic, and he knows everything about me. He knows how I breathe, basically. He knows when I come to training, if I'm feeling good or bad, if I have or have not the energy for some stuff, so he can, put the tempo just right for me to improve and to be better. So I think lots of fighters kind of don't think about that. They always think about sparring partners and just sparring. But I think the most important person in a fighter's career is his coach, and me and my coach, we want to prove that you can be a successful UFC fighter training and coming out of Belgrade, Serbia. So that's a goal for me.
That's a pretty nice goal to have, Dusko.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck on your fight this Saturday.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much, Dusko.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And we will be joined next by UFC welterweight Jingliang. We are now joined by UFC welterweight Jingliang. Lee, thank you very much for joining us today.
所以说欢迎你来到。
你好，很高兴能见到大家，今天非常好。
Hello everyone, glad to be here. Glad to see everyone.
We will take our first questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Your line is open.
Hello, Lee. Can you talk about getting the call a few weeks ago to fight Santiago and how much you were training before you got the fight?
可以说一下你当时的状态，正接到这个 UFC 电话，你和他比赛，然后你有多少？之前的话，你有多少的训练？
我一直都在，当我接到和庞兹尼比奥的比赛的时候，因为我之前要准备比赛了，也是由于我的对手还有1个星期得了新冠，然后他不能比赛。我的体重也是就像今天一样，体重在81，所以说我能理解，因为现在很多地方都有新冠这个病，所以说大家要是不小心的话，很容易被传染，所以说时刻要保护好自己。当我接到这个 UFC 组织说给我找到了新的对手，我也很高兴，然后我也很感谢 庞兹比奥他能接受我，能和我比赛。我希望在晚上，我和他会来一场精彩的比赛。无论是庞兹比奥也好，还是我好，我们都会发出最好的水平，给大家带来展现自己最好的水平，这是最应该做的事情。
Fortunately, I was supposed to fight within this time frame with another opponent, but same thing with Santiago. My opponent dropped out due to COVID and injury, so I was able to stay within this weight. So, and thank you for UFC giving me this opportunity to fight Santiago. It's going to be a very exciting match. I'm very looking forward to it.
How do you think the time off for Santiago will affect him when he gets back in the cage? Because he was on a great win streak before, but people are wondering if he will be the same.
你感觉你的对手连赢了这么多场，但是这么久没有来打比赛，你觉得他现在会不会影响他比赛的状态？
我认为多多少少会有一点点吧，但是我觉得应该是不大，因为是一个成熟的运动员，我觉得，也不是一个年轻的选手，他是非常有经验，而且7连胜，在这个级别7连胜相当于你可以快挑战冠军的资格，所以说每个人都不可小视，都不能，就是小心他的拿冠军的心理，每个人都是非常强大的，来这不是玩玩而已，都是为了冠军，为了梦想，为了自己家庭，为了自己整个民族的这个信仰和精神。
A mature fighter like him, being away from the octagon will have very minimal effect. Riding on the 7-win streak is almost equivalent to have a mindset of become the next champion within this division. So just like him, he understands that Santiago is representing his family, his country. So he will be ready, and he's looking for this match, just like he is ready.
My final question. Recently, Dana White said he is hoping to get the UFC back to China in 2021. So far, the UFC has only been in Vegas and Fight Island. So how do you feel about China being one of the first places the UFC could come back?
白大拿说过，大概希望2021年的话，比赛会在中国进行。但是这1年来，疫情之后，只有在阿布达比和拉斯维加斯有过比赛。如果他出现下一场会有比赛在中国的话，你是有什么样的期待？有什么看法？
如果说能来中国，当然了，这次整个中国选手，甚至整个粉丝，就是整个亚洲的运动员嘛，非常开心。大家不用漂洋过海跑到更远的地方去比赛，很劳累。来到中国，对于中国的粉丝们也很激动，他们也非常欢迎。作为我来说，当然了，需要打这场比赛。因为在自己的祖国能打比赛。非常荣幸，非常兴奋。
Well, the fans of UFC in China would definitely be very thrilled and excited about this event if it was happening in China. That he would definitely want to be part of it, and to represent the country when the event's being held in China is definitely a great honor. And he's very excited if it does happen.
Thank you, Lee. Good luck.
谢谢 Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Lee. That's all the time we have for you today. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank
We are now joined by number 1 ranked UFC featherweight Max Holloway. Max, thank you very much for joining us today.
What's up, boss?
We'll take our first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Your line is open.
Hey, Max. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Can you describe how the emotions are unique for this fight week? You're back on Fight Island. There's going to be fans on ABC, everything else.
I'm ecstatic. I would say I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited. We're gonna be in a new arena. We actually be the first event ever in that new arena. It'll be the main event for that new arena. We got fans back to like 5,000 to 8,000 of them. And then, like you said, we're on national TV back home in America. So I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. It's crazy. You know, I love having this opportunity, and I can't wait to go out there and show out come Saturday night.
How long have you known that this fight was going to be on ABC? They announced it rather recently, but when was the first time they told you, hey, it may not just be a regular fight night?
When the whole world found out, I didn't know. I mean, even I was talking to people, UFC staff over here. They didn't even know it was going to be on ABC. It was crazy. it was just kind of a bomb they dropped of us. And then I think so, even about the fans. Like, we didn't even know I had fans until I was here. I had to tell, Rush going to think I'm lying to him. Because I told him that he can't come because there's no fans allowed. And then I go ahead and find out there's fans. So the guy's going to call me a liar when I get back home. I already know it.
I wanted to ask you a little bit. You talked a bit about training on Zoom and how that helped. I wanted to ask you, because obviously you're a guy who tries to be at the top of the game. How do you keep growing and getting better in between fights when you're not working with those other bodies as much?
It's all about fine tuning, I like to believe I'm at a point where I got enough tools in the bag, and it's always great adding tools, but still sharpening the tools you got already is a good climb. So I do everything I can in my nature, my power, and whatever the state of Hawaii allow me to do and see people. But until then, it's just sharpening tools. Like, even if we can't put new tools in the toolbox or the tool bag, you just got to sharpen the ones you got.
How does this fight with Calvin play out in your mind?
He's a striker. I'm a striker. We're going to go in there and do some more striking, so I can't wait.
Hey, thank you, Max, and good luck.
Thank you, brother.
We'll go next to Jordan Wahlberger with The Horn. Your line is open. Jordan, your line is open. Okay, we'll go next instead to Damon Martin with MMAfighting.com. Your line is open.
Not trying to. Hey, Max. Not trying to reopen old wounds, but obviously your fight with Alexander Volkanovski, your last fight, still gets talked about so much. And I've talked to a lot of featherweights, as you come back, and a lot of people say, "Hey, I still think Max is a champ. I still feel like he's the best featherweight in the world." What does it mean to you that not necessarily the fans, but other fighters still look at you that way and say that even though you don't have the belt, they still look at you as the best featherweight in the world?
It means a lot. Like you said, it's not the fans. That's why like the last fight, it ain't hard to be, it's hard to be mad about it. I mean, it's hard to be mad about the last fight because exactly what you said. 80 to 90% of the world thought I won the fight, and it's not just fans. You know what I mean? It's my competitors, like how you said. it's guys like Nate, Dustin, Justin, Jorge. And people like coaches, GSP's coach, Big John McCarthy, the guy who made the rules. So that's kind of, I ain't too mad about it. We go out there, and I just can't wait to fight. I love fighting. I really believe I was put in this earth to fight. And Saturday night I get the opportunity again, and can't wait to make that walk.
Recently, a guy I know you know very well, Michael Bisping, had talked about, accountability with judging. And I think this is a topic we could spend all day on, talking about, the issues with judging in the sport. But as a guy who's come off a couple of, kind of controversial decisions, is that something you feel like we need to address more in the sport, judging, competent judging, and obviously holding people accountable? We've seen some really ridiculously crazy scores over the past 6 months where everyone kind of scratches their head saying, what are these guys watching?
Yeah, we see what happens. I know how I feel about the open scoring, and I heard how the boss man feel about open scoring. So at the end of the day, that's how he feel. But it's not going to shake my stance on it. I thought so. We ended up going to Kansas. We watching one of the Invicta fights and just watching how it went down. It's a lot of questions was answered, and then the way that I thought that it would affect the fight negatively really didn't. So it was cool. We see what happens. There's again, like I talk about, Big John McCarthy. He actually runs classes for judges and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but I think so. Hopefully sooner than later they figure it out and we find out.
When you look at this matchup with Calvin Kattar, obviously Calvin's on a good win streak. He's a boxer, and one thing that people notice with him is he actually has shown really good cardio and conditioning as the fight moves forward. And obviously that's been one of your biggest weapons throughout your career. Is there part of you, obviously I'm sure you'd love a first round knockout, but is there part of you that, looks to see if a guy like Calvin can hang with you in rounds 3, 4, and 5? Because you're one of the rare guys who actually ups your output, as the fight goes on.
Yeah, the beautiful thing is we get to find out come Saturday. I just can't wait. I can't wait. Like you said, he's a striker. I'm a striker. And I can't wait. He got a pace. I got a pace. And we get to find out come this Saturday.
And last one for me, Max, you were never a guy, as much as I know you enjoyed being champion, you were never a guy who let the championship, weigh on you too much. You went out there and fought every fight the same. You never allowed that, the hype and the title to get to you. But we have seen some ex-champions, when they come back and they're kind of working back into title contention, I won't say the motivation changes, but maybe they're not getting up for the fights as much. Maybe it's harder to get up for a different opponent when it's not a title fight, things like that. Now, I don't take you as that kind of guy. So can you kind of give me an idea, like the hunger, the passion that's inside you right now in a non-title fight, which is not a place you've really been much in the last few years?
Like I said, I told you guys way before when I had the belt, the belt was just something to show the world that I was a champion. I'm going to carry myself as a champion, belt or no belt. We're going to go out there and fight, man. I love fighting. I don't know what else to say. I love to fight. People who say it's hard to get up. I'm still fighting 5 rounds. I still feel like championship round. We're on ABC. We're on ABC. I know a bunch of pay-per-view fighters I would kill to be in this position. So at the end of the day, it still feels the same. A fight is a fight to me, and I can't wait.
Thanks, Max.
Hey, brother.
We'll go next to Pablo Santamaria with Noti MMA Ecuador. Your line is open.
Hey, Max, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine, boss. How you doing?
Okay, the first thing I want to ask is, how do you feel about being the main fight on this card that will have fans since March from the last year? How do you feel about that?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We finally get fans back in the building, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I got the experience of fighting in front of big crowds, of fighting with no crowd, and now I get to be the first card back of the year, and what a surprise! We get to have fans. So I'm super excited.
Okay. So you said that Kelvin is a good fighter, an exciting fighter. So what we can expect from this fight? We should expect fireworks.
I expect fireworks all day. He's a striker. I'm a striker. The guy's nickname is the Boston Finisher. I love to look for finishes, so we'll see what happens.
Sure. If you get the W, you want to call someone out? Maybe DC or Volkanovski again?
We'll see what happens. First thing first, we go at Kattar. I'm losing hope on that DC fight because he does text and call me here and there, and he never talks about the fight. So as a fight, I think so we might have to move on, or I just saw DC bought a new house, a nice house. It looks like a damn castle. So he might need money soon. So maybe I should call him out and we get that fight. He might come back.
I get it. And what's your prediction for this fight, Max?
My prediction is fireworks. It's going to be fireworks. It's going to be a fun fight. This guy, a lot of guys, not only him, is talking about his boxing. And that's something I want to test. That's something that intrigues me. Everybody talking about his boxing and his ability to finish with his boxing. So I can't wait.
Yes. And here in Ecuador, you're a fan favorite. Would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
Yeah, what's up, Ecuador? Thank you guys all for the love and support. Happy New Year. Be strong in these weird times, and I hope all is well.
Thank you very much for your time, Max. And I am a big fan of you and your YouTube channel and the stream. Good luck at the fight, man.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Julian Kivitz with IOL Sport. Your line is open.
Hi, Max. Can you hear me?
I can hear you all good, boss.
Hi, this is Julian from Cape Town, South Africa. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks very much, man. Just a few questions. First of all, are you involved in any of the Hawaiian promotions like Destiny or Trinity? Are you involved in any sort of way with them?
Oh, what?
Are you involved in any of the Hawaiian promotions back home?
Oh, not at all. The only involvement I have with any other promotion is I probably fought in every single one of them that you heard.
Okay, cool. And then just as you see also so many African fighters are coming to the big stage now and Africa's getting recognized. Do you think it's important that fighters with status as well invest themselves in countries, for example, in Africa as well? I mean, you're from Hawaii as well. Do you think it's important for fighters such as them to invest into Nigeria and South Africa and just to get because obviously there's a big interest in MMA in Africa as well. Do you think it's important for fighters such as Izzy and Kamaru them to get involved in the smaller promotions?
For sure. I think so. I think so it is. I think so I think so that these are the guys that you want to see fight. These guys is hungry. These guys want to fight. And these guys is like, a lot of them is natural athletes. So it would be amazing to see more fighters from there.
Cool, thanks. And then also just tell me something. As you know, a lot of fighters, as with age also, the lifestyle change, they move up into weight classes. You have fought at lightweight before. Are there any thoughts of you going up a class also now? I mean, you've obviously achieved what you've done in featherweight. I mean, you're one of the greatest champions ever known. Your reputation speaks for itself. Are there any thoughts of going up?
Yeah, it's there. I'm just a call away. UFC know my number. They can hit my line when they want me to go up. I'd go up 3 weight classes if I had to fight people. I don't care. I like to think myself as a modern day gladiator, and gladiators we fight. So any weight can get it. If you just heard, I've been calling out the former heavyweight champion. So there's no weight that I am scared of.
Cool. And then also just one last thing. A mini bless Mr. Rush himself. I know he's a very passionate kid, and I appreciate the love you have for your son. What kind of sports is he showing any sort of interest in at the moment, or are you just letting him enjoy anything at the moment, and then just as he grows older, you're going to sort of guide him, or is there something that you can actually clearly see now he's really focused on or enjoys?
Yeah, I just recently I just got engaged to my fiance. She's a professional surfer. And
congratulations, man.
Thank you. And so I've been getting into surfing, and then he kind of got into surfing, and the kid is a natural. So I mean, in every sport we ever try to start him to get in or this and that, it's like surfing has been the one so far that he actually wants to go to the beach all the time. He wants to surf. So we'll see what happens. Nice. We see how much his stuff. He's super just ecstatic about it. He can't wait to surf most of the time. He always, every single morning, he's asking if we can go to the beach. So that's the most I see him, most energy he gave to any sport ever in his life.
Oh, fantastic. Mr. Max, God bless and all the best to your fight, man.
God bless. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Cheers. Thank you, brother.
We'll go next to Jordan Wahlberger with the horn. Your line is open.
Hey, Max. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, good to talk to you, boss.
Hey, Max, this is your second time fighting at Fight Island. Obviously, the same for Calvin. What do you learn from that first experience? Obviously, it was a loss. It was a really contested, close loss. But what do you learn kind of taking into this next fight?
A fight is a fight. Fight Island. I learned that since we got fans back, we cannot move around like how we did the last time we came. Me and my boys, we bring out carvers, just skateboard things that kind of replicate surfing, and can't really ride it around anywhere. We thought that we'd be able to ride it on the streets, but now tourism is back and stuff, and the fans is here. We can't. So it's about the only thing I learned.
So, obviously you've been in a lot of really big fights in your career, and this is the first fight of 2021. It's the first fight on ABC. And you said, hey, a fight is a fight, but how do you really just kind of make it like any other fight so there's not that pressure on you?
It really just is a fight, you know. When I say it, I'm not lying. It's really just another fight to me. I can't wait, you know. I'm blessed with the opportunity to be here, to be the first fight in 3 weeks, you know, the first card of the year, the first fight in forever or mixed martial arts on ABC. And there's just a bunch of the first fight with fans. There's a list that goes on and on. You know, these things they get me excited though. You know, I'm excited. I can't wait to fight, and I can't wait to go out there and show out on Saturday.
Nice. Hey, you're ranked number 1 at featherweight. You know, Calvin's ranked number 6. What do you think is your path back to a title?
I don't know. You know, first things first is Calvin. Calvin is in front of me. I make sure I take care of him, take care of the job come Saturday night, and then you know, put the rest on the heat on my manager. You know, my job is to control everything that's inside the octagon. His job is to control everything outside the octagon. So at the end of the day, I just got one guy in front of me. You know, so we'll take care of him, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Hey, last question for me. Just over the main event next week. You fought both guys. You fought Dustin twice. You fought Conor back in 2013. How do you see that fight going down next week?
I don't know. You know, Dustin is always motivated. Looks like we got a motivated Conor, so I can't wait. You know, fireworks should be exciting, and I just say enjoy it. You know, I think it's gonna be a real good one.
Max, it's great to have you back and great to talk to you. Congrats on the engagement, and good luck this week.
Thank you, brother. Happy New Year.
You too.
And we'll take our final questions from Ezekiel Bergonzi with Somos MMA. Your line is open.
Hey, Max, how are you?
I'm good, boss. How you doing today?
Fine. So, how did you start this year?
What was that?
How did you start this year?
How did I start this year? I started my year at home. And we still got locked down in Hawaii, and we was being smart, we was being safe. I mean, it wasn't trying to go do anything and get sick and miss this fight. So we was just playing it safe, you know. All the stuff that I did miss, I can do it after, you know. There is just dates. So after this fight, we can go and celebrate whatever I did miss.
In several interviews, Kelvin Kattar said that beating you is the same as winning the title. So how do you feel about beating him?
I can't wait to go out there and do my thing, you know. And it's just another fight, you know. Whoever you put in front of me, you know, it's just another fight to me.
And Brian Ortega returned after 2 years layoff, and he really bring it against Korean Zombie. So, what do you think about his return at the division and the chance that maybe he will get a title shot?
Yeah, you know, Brian looked good. You know, he took that 2 years off. He sharpened some tools, added some tools. Got to take care of some injuries I heard, and he looked great. You know, so you know, more power to him. And like I said, I can't wait. You know, we see what happens. I got Calvin first, and after Calvin, we figure out. We see what happens, where we go next.
And what do you think about your division? Like, because recently Sabit and Shair was suspended, and we all wanted to see his fight against Sabit. So what do you think about that?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy, my friend. I'm a fighter in the UFC. I'm not the UFC matchmaker. We can go grab Mick or Sean Shelby for those questions.
Thank you very much, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Max.
Thank you. Hello.
And we will be joined next by UFC middleweight Alessio di Chirico. We are now joined by UFC middleweight Alessio di Chirico. Alessio, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
We'll take our first questions from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA. Your line is open.
Okay.
Alessio, how are you doing?
All good. Just 1 minute that is coming. My friend that helped me translate. Huh? Okay, perfect.
Okay. I just want to ask you how you're going, how you're doing heading into this fight. Obviously on the back of 3 tough losses. How are you feeling?
I feel in the corner. I feel that I have to win. I have no choice.
And especially after, you hear Dana White speaking about potentially cutting 60 fighters. Was there a fear that you might be on that list?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sorry. Okay. So when Dana White announced that he was potentially cutting 60 fighters, was there a fear on your side, Alessio, that you might be one of them?
Yes, but every UFC fighter that come also from a loss can be cutted. So it's a feeling that every fighter know.
And despite that, you've got a huge opportunity in front of you. Joaquin Buckley, he's got a ton of hype behind him right now. What do you make of this matchup and him as an opponent?
I'm very happy for this. I am happy to get a fighter in this period. Happy to work, and I'm here to fight the best fighter in the world. That's the reason I am in UFC. I don't want to be a parasite that stay in the peripheral zone of the rankings. No? I want to stay here, and I want to demonstrate that I can stay here in every fight.
Yeah, and at the end of 2020, we've seen Marvin Vettori go and headline an event, the first Italian to do so. Do you take inspiration from that and what he's been able to achieve?
I was very, very happy for him because he deserved it. He's a friend of mine, and yes, he inspires us, and he makes Italy on the maps. So yes.
Well, thanks for answering your questions. Good luck with fight night.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press. Your line is open.
Hey, Alessio, how are you?
Hi, good. You?
I'm doing good. This fight was announced pretty recently, less than a month ago, but how long have you known about this fight with Joaquin Buckley?
No, a month. I don't know why, but as soon as I seen the contract, the notice came out. So, just a month.
This fight is getting a lot of attention with the event. It's going to be the first event with the fans. Is there more excitement for you? Because people are tuning in a lot for Joaquin, but obviously this is a good fight also.
I think that this is very, very exciting for me, also because it's the first event in 2021. And, go there, go on the MMA ring is always something about adrenaline. The best fight is the most difficult fight for me.
My final question, just what are your thoughts on Joaquin's style as an opponent?
Pensi il stile del tuo avversario?
He is a very well-rounded fighter, very good boxing and kicker, and very good grappling. So he's a very, very, very tough fighter.
Thank you, Alessio. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our final questions from Omar Mert with S-Sport. Your line is open.
Hello, Alessio. How are you?
I'm fine. You?
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. Your opponent Buckley is a rising star. What kind game plan do you have against him?
I prefer to don't speak about strategy.
Okay. What do you think about Buckley?
Buckley is a very, very, very tough fighter, very good boxing, and in some boxing movement, he reminds me of Mike Tyson. And he's a very good kicker, and also very, very good wrestling and defense. He's a very powerful guy. So I think it will be absolutely an amazing fight.
Okay. My last question is, we know you played American football before. Do you have any favorite in NFL? Any favorite team?
Yes, a lot. But my favorite is Chicago Bears.
What do you think can be champion this season? Which team?
Per te chi saranno?
Onestamente non lo so.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck on Saturday, Alessio.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Alessio. You're all set.
Thank you, guys.
And we will be joined shortly by UFC middleweight Punahele Soriano. We are now joined by UFC middleweight Punahele Soriano. Punahele, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yep, yes, sir. Glad to be here.
We'll take our first questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press. Your line is open.
Hello, Punahele. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I know it was a tough 2020 in terms of getting back into the cage. So can you talk about what the emotions are like to finally be back at a fight week? You know, it's getting closer and everything.
Yeah, emotions are high. It almost felt like a win just making it here. So anything else from this is like an extra bonus. So emotions are through the roof.
Both of you guys are going into this one in similar positions, undefeated, one fight after Contender Series. So just what are your thoughts on him as an opponent and how he's doing?
I'm excited. I like the way he fights. When I got his name, I got real nervous. You know, I got sweaty, and I think that's the kind of stuff that makes me the best. You know, that makes me at the top of my game. I'm the man at rising to adversity, and I like the challenge.
When you go through that, and you know, obviously every fighter wants to stay busy and they want to, you know, keep competing and growing. How do you stay positive when you're just not able to get in the cage and, you know, to keep staying motivated in practice every week?
Yeah, that was tough. I honestly, I don't know. I just, you have no other option, I guess. I just kind of, you're either going to fall off track or you just got to keep trucking and will yourself through it. So I guess I kind of just willed myself through it.
My final question, what would you consider a great performance for yourself this Saturday?
Great performance is going out there, putting the gas on them, and looking for the finish and getting that finish, or even getting the win by any means necessary is ideal.
Hey, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Punahele. You're all set.
Wow, easy.
We are now joined by UFC middleweight Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
We'll take our first question from Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic. Your line is open.
Joaquin, how are you, sir?
I'm blessed, man. How you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. The first question I want to ask, obviously racking up the highlight knockouts and the momentum's really in your favor. Does that put any pressure on you to continue performing on those sort of performances?
No, I mean, I already took the pressure off myself, man. I already proved what I'm capable of when I fought Jordan Wright. So, man, we just gonna go out there, man, have fun and do what we do best, man. No added.
One of the questions. Fantastic. One of the questions that I want to ask a young guy like yourself, in these kind of situations, obviously with the pandemic, we know training can be restricted at times and a bit strange, but more importantly, you want to be active, you want to be ready. There's a lot of fights coming on short notice. So two things, how are you mentally staying ready for that? And how do you adjust your training to always be ready to perform?
I mean, it's something that we already kind of used to before this whole COVID thing popped off, man. I didn't have many gyms to go to, man, so I had to always train at home or, find buddies to train with. But really, we try to stay mentally strong and mentally prepared, man. I'm always in good and top shape, man, definitely because my conditioning coach. But other than that, man, we good, bro. Like, I don't do nothing special, man. We just keep doing the same things that got us here from the beginning.
And how do you decide when to really ramp up the training and when to kind of just keep a medium pace? And how do you fit in a cheat meal amongst all of this?
Cheat meals, I feel you, man. I always on cheat meals. I just had some cheat meals, man, today. I ain't gonna lie. But other than that, so to answer your question, like, we always go hard, bro. You know what I mean? Definitely when it comes to, cardiovascular, man, I'm always going ham. The thing is, I don't spar a lot, and I think that's what really helps me from prevented injuries and stuff like that, so I don't get banged up. But when it comes to the workouts, and we always go ham, man. We always make sure that we're in top shape.
You say you're not sparring all that much. Is it more technical sort of sparring?
Not for real, man. I don't really have much people to point spar with, man. So I pretty much just hit the heavy bag and hit mitts. I train out with Marcialago in Michigan, but obviously I stay in St. Louis. So whenever I need a fight camp ready, they'll set that up for me and they'll bring in some good guys, good body types for me to train with. That's the only time I really get some good sparring work in. Other than that, man, it's the heavy bag and mitts, focus mitts. So I don't really much get good sparring in. But I think it's a good thing, to be honest with you. Like I said, don't have any injuries and, I can always stay in good shape for a fight.
Awesome. Obviously, it's a marquee event back on Fight Island. ABC, there's a lot of talk. Fans are going to be back in the arena. What sort of performance would you envision that would really set your name in the lights amongst all the fans returning on Fight Island?
I mean, if I just do what I come to do, and just put on the show, I know everybody, not just the crowd alone, but the people that's watching back home, the millions of folks that's tuning in for free, are going to love me and are going to tune in for every fight that I probably have. So, I have a lot to gain come the 17th, but January 16th back home.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. All the best.
Appreciate it.
We'll go next to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Your line is open.
Hey, Joaquin, how are you?
I'm blessed.
Now that's an answer right there. I know it didn't come as any surprise, but what was it like having so many outlets honor you with that knockout of the year over the holidays?
It's definitely something to get used to, definitely since I've been under the radar for a very long time, and I've been trying to, push my name out by myself for a very long time. It's cool to see people, actually wanting to figure out who I am and, definitely try to explore on my background. So, it's pretty cool, man, to have all these different outlets reach out to me.
You've kept a busy schedule now since October. Is it safe to say that this is kind of what you want to do? You want to, health permitting, you want to keep up this pace for your fights?
Got to. I got to, I got to stay consistent. I got to keep the eyes on me. And the only way to do that is to fight, And like I said, I don't have any hard sparring days and, I don't bang up my body unnecessarily. So it's always easy to stay ready for a fight because I don't have any crazy injuries,
You're obviously a young guy, but when you're staying active like this, going from camp to camp, fight to fight, how do you avoid that burnout in the gym? Because it is a grind to stay busy and stay ready for fights so often.
Oh, man, well, I'm from the STL, man, and without STL, man, you can't spell hustle. So, man, I'm from a place where you got to grind, man. So it's just something that I'm used to, man. I adapted to it, man, and it's just in my nature, bro, to go hard and grind. So, you know, it's not about success, it's about survival in my eyes.
Final question, just what are your thoughts on Alessio as an opponent and how this fight goes down?
I think Alessio is a very respectable opponent. And, you know, even off the 3 losses that he had back to back, it's all been like unanimous decision, split decision type losses. And I really think that he's going to come pretty hard with some heavy pressures to try to, you know, knock me out. But, you know, unfortunately, when you come to kill, that means you're open to get killed yourself. So, you know, if he's looking to try to take me out, I got to do the same thing to him. So it's going to be a fun fight between me and him.
Hey, thank you, Joaquin. Good luck.
Most definitely.
We'll go next to Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA. Your line is open.
Joaquin, I'm just wondering, with the turn of the new year, have you had the chance to, you know, sit down and reflect on 2020 and what a crazy year it was for yourself?
Most deaf, man. Just the ending of 2020. I mean, nothing much changed for me when it first got started. You know, with COVID and everything, I was still able to work. I was still able to retain my job, but the people's lives around me, unfortunately, were tanked pretty hard by COVID. And for me to get signed and for me to, you know, be able to take care of my family, now I'm able to take care of the ones that are around me that needed help, you know. So, you know, it's a blessing for everybody that, you know, I got this opportunity, you know what I mean, because I can feed my family now. So that's pretty dope.
That is dope. And just on Alessio, obviously he's had a few losses, but he's never been knocked out. And does that change the way you approach this fight, or is that something you'd love to get on your resume, a big knockout?
Nah, not at all, man. A couple of opponents that I fought before never been knocked out until I fought them, you know. So it's probably gonna be a new experience for them, but you know, it is what it is, man. It's the fight business, it's the hurt business. So we coming in there, to, you know, to put each other's lights out. And but I expect my hand to be raised at the end of the night.
And after your last fight, you know, obviously you got on the mic and you had that, you know, kind of epic call out or indirect call out of James Krause. It looked like that's the fight we were heading towards, and now here you are fighting Alessio. Was that ever close to happening, that fight?
I couldn't tell you. I'm fighting, he's not, and now we got an opponent named Alessio who's willing to get in the cage with me. So you got to go on his end with that, you know. But other than that, I ain't worried about it.
And just finally, Dana White, you know, going into the new year, I think he picked his top 3 fighters to watch out for in 2021, and you were one of them. What do you make of that type of praise from the boss?
He already know, man. He know what talent look like. So I appreciate that, Dana, you know, and for sure I'm going to keep that word, you know. I'm going to make sure that it's not disappointing.
Okay, thanks for your time. Good luck with fight night.
Appreciate it.
We'll go next to Jordan Wahlberger with The Horn. Your line is open.
Hey, Joaquin, how you doing?
Bless.
Hey, congrats on a good finish to last year. Obviously, you won our KO of the year last year. But last year, you're kicking off this new year on ABC. Obviously, that KO is going to be played over and over again as we lead up to that. How do you kind of stay grounded and make sure that you keep that pressure off going into this fight?
Well, like I said, I relieved a lot of pressure from the Jordan Wright fight and just realized it's just another fight. It's not that big of a deal. You know, I know people will see the impact of the kick and, you know, try to expect something different or if not the same thing. But unfortunately, man, it's the fight game. It's very unexpected. You never know what's going to happen. You just got to keep your eyes glued to the TV.
Nice. We're excited to see that. You obviously had a busy year in 2021. What changed really after that UFC debut against Kevin Holland?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, no, you're good. What changed for you? So obviously you had a busy year. You made your UFC debut. Unfortunately, it was a loss for you. But what really changed in kind of your mindset and your approach to fights after that UFC debut?
Nothing, man. There's always either kill or be killed. He got me that night. And shout out to Kevin Holland. He's definitely a fighter of the year from 2020. And, you know, but I plan on running it back with Kevin Holland again. But it was just his moment and his chance and opportunity to shine. You know what I mean? I can't take that away from him. But other than that, though, I don't really see myself losing to anybody up to this point, you know.
Hey, you fought last year on Fight Island. You had two of those fights in Las Vegas. Anything that you learned over those experiences, kind of in quarantine, how to kind of prepare yourself for a fight that you're putting into a place this week for fight week?
What I really realized, man, this is about mental preparation, man. Just visualizing the whole scenario on how the whole fight is going to go, because you just only have time just to sit and wait. You know what I mean? And being inside of a hotel room, it's not much to do. You can't really train like you want to. So it's really about mental preparation when it came to quarantining. So that's what I learned the most, man. It's just visualization. You know.
So how do you visualize? Go ahead. How do you visualize this fight ending?
I see this fight ending definitely in a KO in a spectacular fashion for sure. You know, and I just see myself getting the win.
All right, Joaquin. Hey, best of luck this week. Thanks for the time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go next to Damon Martin with MMAfighting.com. Your line is open.
Hey, Joaquin, you talked about it going into your second fight after the viral knockout, building on that win and not, proving that wasn't some fluke or anything like that. But can you kind of give me an idea, like, beating Jordan the way you did, having another dominant win, like, do you feel like you've proven to people to, like, you're more than just a viral knockout. You are a legit threat to everybody in this division?
I think I have, but, you always got people that's always got something to say, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I showed it was a mistake. I got another knockout, and I plan on doing it again. Here it come January 16th.
You said, obviously you're not, gunning for the knockout, but obviously expectations rise when you're kind of a high-impact fighter. We've seen it throughout history, expectations. How do you handle those expectations, knowing that when you fight now, people are expecting, that kind of, that emphatic knockout, that emphatic finish? Like, do you think about that, or do you just put that in your mind?
Nah, man, I put it on myself, bro. Like, I do gun for the knockout. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be going for that knockout. You know what I mean? But I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure I finish these guys. Definitely, if I feel like you're not on my level, there's no reason why I need to take you to the judges. If I feel like I have the superior skill sets, I should be able to figure out how to finish the match. You know what I mean? Because with chess, man, I need a checkmate. I need to end the fight.
Absolutely. And last thing, I don't want to bring up a negative subject. I know somebody asked about the James Krause fight. There was also a possibility of Julian Marquez, another guy that fights out of that gym. There's been so much talk about that whole thing, but is there any part of you now that just wants to move beyond it, because it just doesn't seem like it's happening?
It's not happening. So it doesn't even fit where we're going now, But other than that, I do got another shout out who I want to fight later on after I beat Alessio. So yeah, I'll be ready for that.
Awesome. Thanks, Joaquin.
All right, thank you very much, Joaquin. You're all set.
Thank you.
We will be joined shortly by UFC welterweight Santiago Ponzinibio. We are now joined by UFC welterweight Santiago Ponzinibio. Santiago, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oi, what's up? How are you?
Good. We'll take our first question from Alfredo Bush with Claro Sports.
Okay.
Hola, Santi, qué gusto saludarte. ¿Cómo te va?
¿Qué tal, hermano? Un placer. Todo muy bien acá.
Igualmente para mí platicar contigo. Oye, desde la última vez que subiste a la jaula han pasado un montón de cosas en tu vida. ¿Cómo te sientes al día de hoy después de todo lo que te ha tocado vivir, Santi?
Me siento mejor que nunca. Estoy en el mejor momento de mi carrera. Estoy más maduro mentalmente, físicamente. Siento que estoy en mi prime y estoy muy feliz de estar aquí, de tener salud, de poder tener esta oportunidad de poder estar peleando. Así que la verdad que estoy muy contento con todo.
¿Y qué tan importante es para ti que UFC te tenga todavía en una muy alta estima? Porque a pesar del tiempo que has estado alejado de la jaula, te tienen en un lugar muy alto en la cartelera, estás solamente debajo del co-main event.
Sí, por suerte agradezco mucho al UFC que me hayan dado este lugar para poder mostrar mi trabajo. Me dieron un excelente oponente. Jingliang es un atleta con muchos años en la compañía, un atleta con un récord positivo dentro de la compañía, con muy buenas victorias. Entonces estoy muy feliz por este combate y lo voy a aprovechar sin duda esta oportunidad, ¿no? Voy a mostrar al mundo que soy uno de los mejores peleadores de esta división y lo voy a noquear a Jingliang.
¿Cuál fue el mayor aprendizaje que te dejó todo esto que viviste, Santi?
La verdad, mira, en finales de 2018 yo estaba pensando en pelear por un título mundial. A comienzos de 2019 estaba peleando por mi vida. Pasé muchas complicaciones médicas. Yo comencé en mayo con una operación, una infección en la sangre. me dijeron 7 meses de tratamiento, vas a estar bien, me pusieron un catéter abajo del brazo que iba al corazón, enfermeros en mi casa, todo el día medicamentos, pasé semanas sin caminar. Después, cuando estaba por terminar el tratamiento, me empieza mucha fiebre, me tienen que internar de nuevo. El medicamento había matado todos mis glóbulos blancos. Tuve que quedarme internado en una sala separado, nadie me podía ver. Tuve con varios días con el máximo de fiebre, no me podían bajar la fiebre, perdí casi 30 libras. Fue un momento bien asustador, los médicos no sabían qué estaba pasando, me tuve que hacer muchísimos estudios. Cambian toda la medicación, empiezo con nuevos medicamentos. Como 3-4 meses con ese catéter tomando medicación en la vena. Después me voy a Las Vegas a hacerme rehabilitación, como 6 semanas, no mejoraba, me hago una resonancia. Los médicos de Las Vegas me dicen que tal vez yo no podría volver a pelear en mi vida. Fue un momento durísimo. Me tomo un avión, me vuelvo a Miami con el infectólogo que había comenzado todo el tratamiento. Empezamos a hacer un montón de estudios médicos. En noviembre descubrimos que tenía otro problema, que es una artritis reactiva. Empecé con un reumatólogo con muchos medicamentos, corticoides, para bajar la inflamación del cuerpo. Recién ahí comencé a responder. Esto fue ya a fines de noviembre. En diciembre, todo 2020, un año trabajando para poder recuperar el atleta que yo era, porque me dejó muchas secuelas todo esto y no era el mismo atleta. Entonces, fueron momentos complicados, porque de escuchar del médico que tal vez no peleas más en tu vida, que después escuchar a los médicos que yo les decía, che, pero me duele mucho, no me puedo mover, me decían, capaz que te quedes con secuelas para toda tu vida, porque es bien complejo las infecciones. Entonces, en un mundo que yo no conocía, infelizmente lo tuve que conocer viviéndolo, pero hoy por hoy puedo decir que todo eso ya pasó. Estoy súper saludable, como dije, estoy en mejor momento y un aprendizado grande, ¿no? Porque uno empieza a dar más valor a la salud, ¿no? Cuando uno todos los días se acuerda, se despierta, va a entrenar, es lo normal para uno, ¿no? Pero cuando de un momento a otro te cambia todo y ves que lo frágil que somos, lo frágil que es la vida, uno empieza a darle más valor, ser más agradecido con la salud, con las oportunidades que uno tiene, sin duda. Por eso estoy tan feliz de estar aquí de vuelta.
Perfecto, Santi, pues de verdad muchísimas gracias por las respuestas y qué bueno verte de nuevo. Recuerdo mucho antes de que fuera la pelea allá en Argentina, poderte haber entrevistado allá y verte de regreso aquí, me da muchísimo gusto. Que te vaya muy bien el sábado.
Muchísimas gracias por la entrevista y vamos con todo, vamos a buscar ese knockout.
Suerte, gracias.
Abrazo.
We'll go next to Augusto Niez-Gay with Somos MMA. Your line is open.
Santiago, ¿me escuchás?
Sí.
Perfecto, Santi. Bueno, primero que nada te quiero consultar, recién lo decías, 2018 al borde de pelear por un título del mundo, 2019, 2020 años complicados. Te quiero preguntar cómo fue el proceso mental, sobre todo la parte psicológica, y qué fue lo que te mantuvo motivado para seguir adelante y seguir peleando y hoy poder estar acá.
Hermano, fue una constante batalla y esto como la pandemia, me lo iban estirando, ¿viste? Empecé con 7 semanas de tratamiento, después 2 semanas más, pasaron 4 meses con el catéter tomando medicaciones, después me fui a rehabilitar, no me recuperaba, descubrimos otro problema, era como que, ¿viste? No terminaba de salir, pero iba ahí, ¿viste? Peleándola, luchando, pero sin duda lo que me mantuvo vivo es, yo tengo mucho para mostrar al mundo todavía del atleta que soy. Y yo sé que voy a ser campeón del mundo. Por eso me acuerdo cuando el médico me dijo, tal vez no pueda volver a pelear, fue como un balde de agua fría, pero al mismo tiempo decía, no, acá hay algo que está errado. Yo voy a ser campeón del mundo, yo todavía tengo mucho para hacer. O sea, esto no puede ser verdad, esto no puede estar pasando. Entonces, yo creo que tengo una fe muy grande en que voy a llegar al título, en que voy a ser campeón del mundo. Y creo que eso fue lo que me mantuve de pie, ¿no?
Y Santi, hablando del título, ¿no? Digo, desde la última vez que peleaste hasta ahora, la categoría cambió, hay un montón de nombres nuevos que han subido, nombres que antes estaban y no están más. ¿Cómo ves la categoría hoy? ¿La veías más sencilla antes, más sencilla ahora? ¿Es igual de difícil? ¿Cómo la ves?
Creo que la categoría welterweight es la categoría más complicada del UFC, o una de las más complicadas, en mi opinión la más complicada, muy competitiva. Hay buenos nombres, realmente ha cambiado mucho. Atletas que estaban atrás mío me han pasado, han aparecido nombres nuevos, como Leon Edwards, que siempre estuvo atrás mío rankeado, con una victoria sobre Rafael dos Anjos, él me pasa. Bueno, ahora me sacaron del ranking, eso cuando estaba rankeado, pero en el lugar que venía ocupando, ¿no? Y nombres nuevos, ¿no? Que llegaron como Burns, que no estaba ni rankeado y rápidamente se metió en el topo de la división, pero yo creo que es una división muy, muy entretenida, muy, muy emocionante de ver, y creo que tengo el poder para ganarle a cualquier atleta de esta división, ¿no? Así que estoy contento por volver al trabajo y pelear ahí con todos estos grandes nombres que están ahí surgiendo.
Y Santi, hablando de la pelea del fin de semana, ¿cómo ves a tu rival? ¿Dónde crees que va a estar la clave para la victoria? ¿Y qué tipo de pelea imaginás?
Creo que él va a salir con todo. Hay que pelear tranquilo, ¿no? Yo tengo mucha experiencia, son 35 peleas profesionales. Salir a pelear tranquilo, sentir el combate, ir trabajándolo, le voy a hacer sentir mucho dolor, ¿no? Un pego muy fuerte, lo voy a ir lastimando de a poco hasta que no aguante más el dolor y termine tirado en la lona y le gane por nocaut.
¿Y te cambian algo el hecho de que haya cambiado el rival con corto tiempo de anticipación?
Me pueden poner un peso pesado si quieren, pero lo único que yo quiero es pelear, que me den a alguien, que me pongan un cuerpo delante mío y poder salir y cagarme a tropada. Quiero fajar con alguien después de todos estos meses de abstinencia. No, hermano, yo lo que quiero es volver al trabajo, mostrar al mundo quién soy y que vean mi talento.
Santi, desde ya gracias. Lo último que te pregunto, ¿algún mensaje para no solamente Argentina, sino toda Latinoamérica que va a estar prendida mirando tu pelea?
Hermano, son momentos muy difíciles. Gente muriendo, empresas cerrando, gente sin trabajo, pasando hambre. Yo mis últimos 26 meses me ha pasado de todo también, y te puedo decir que toda mi carrera fue forjada encima de adversidades. Pero siempre me mantuve con fe y trabajando duro. Y puedo decir que vale la pena porque los días mejores siempre vienen. Así que no bajen los brazos, que la sigan peleando en Argentina, en toda Latinoamérica, a meterle con todo.
Gracias, Santi. Lo mejor para el sábado. Thank you, guys.
Right.
We'll go next to Jim Varsalone with the Miami Herald. Your line is open.
Thank you. I'm curious because your last fight was 2018, and it's been a while to get back going and get a fight. How are you feeling now that you're actually going to fight 2021 and be ready, and any rust there might be just getting ready for this big fight?
I feel great, my friend. I feel better than ever. My body, my mind is in the prime, in the right moment, you know? Great event to me come back here in Abu Dhabi. I love this place. Fair event of the year. Great opponent. It's nothing can be better. I'm going to finish this guy and knock him out this guy. I show to the world I am the next champion.
What was it like during the time that you were not fighting, your training, and I believe you had a staph infection at one point, but really just wanting to get back in there? How tough was it just to, I got to keep waiting, and finally I got to fight?
That's crazy, man. I feel emptiness, you know. I experiment a lot of feelings, you know. That's terrible. I start with staph infection in my blood. They pass 7 weeks with a pig line, go to my head, a lot of medication, nurse in my home. I pass 1 week, spend a little more than 1 week in the hospital. When the treatment almost finished, I start with a lot of fever. I need to back to the hospital. The antibiotic kill all my white gloves. I don't have defense. They need to put me in separate room. I have the maximum of fever. I start to lose weight. I lose maybe 30 pounds. And then the doctor is very scary. They understand what is happening. They need to change all medication. I pass maybe 3-4 months with that pig line, take a lot of medication. After that, I go to Vegas to try to do my PT rehab. 5, 6, 7 weeks, nothing better. Make I'm all right. The doctor in Vegas told me that maybe I can fight again in my life. They have infection in my bone. Just fucking crazy. I need to take a flight back to Miami. Start and make a lot of studies, medical studies again. They figure out I have a problem with arthritis reactive. I go to the rheumatologist. I take a lot of corticoids to my body. This is in end of November. December, I start to work in my body. My body is not the same. I can't perform the same. You know, the doctor told me maybe I can same fighter again, for the all scar tissue, the bacteria stay in my body. And it's very weird. 2020 is a year when I work so hard, a lot of focus in recovery, my health, and when I'm ready, I take COVID for 1 month. When I'm ready, I broke my toe for no training for 3 weeks, and a small thing happens, and thank God, now I'm healthy. Now everything is about the past. I'm great perform to back in the octagon.
And that is great. You're ready to go and back in there, and I know fans are going to enjoy seeing you again. Impressive record, impressive fighter. What has it been like for you training with the American Top Team? Did you do your training there for this fight? And who helped you get ready for this fight?
Yes, of course. I train there. I live in 3 minutes the gym. I pass there every day. They have a great coach. Mikey Brown helped me a lot. A lot of Steve Moko, the wrestling coach, helped me a lot. Kattar Kubis, Anderson Fraza, the Muay Thai striking. I bring my coach the boxing. They stay with me for my 10 years. That's my main coach. The coach, they put the style in myself, this Kelson Pintos. He's here with me, and I have a great team, great partners. Gleison Tibao is here, help me, I have a lot of good friends that help me always, I'm so glad, I'm so happy, they have great people around me,
And lastly, Santiago, a victory for you in this fight. What does it mean to you, and where does that victory get you?
Man, I'm gonna injure this guy, man. I'm gonna beat this guy. I'm gonna make feel a lot of pain, and I knock him out, this guy. And after that, I show to the world that's a great opponent, tough opponent. When I finish this guy good, the world understand I'm ready to the belt. I'm the next champion of the division. I'm ready to the next.
Go get him, champ. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take our final questions from Sumik Dada with Sportskita. Your line is open.
Hey, Santiago, welcome back, and I hope you're feeling well.
Thank you. I feel great, sir.
So, your first fight since 2018, a lot has changed over the course of this past 3 years. With everything that's been going on in this pandemic and everything else, did you face any difficulties in preparation for this fight week?
No, man. I'm so happy, man. The most happy moment in my life, for after everything I pass, one day I thinking they're gonna fight to the belt. The other day I'm fighting for my life, and you see how, quick you can change everything, in this life. And they give more value, for the things, I have more grateful for my health, more grateful for the opportunities. And right now, I'm so grateful they have opportunity to show my work. That's a great event. I love Abu Dhabi. There's a great people here, First card of the year, tough opponent. It's nothing better, I'm so happy.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling good, and it's good to see you back. And during this layoff period, of course, you were removed from the welterweight rankings. But do you feel a win this weekend puts you right back into the top 15 or maybe top 10? Or do you think you'll have to do something differently to get back in the rankings?
Maybe, man. Maybe. I don't know. Realistic. When I finish this guy, I have 8 victories in a row. That's good. I knock him out at number 8 in the world in 2 different main events. I won the tough guys, always the guys in the prime. Mike Perry, when I beat him, he's coming winning, Gunnar Nelson, Neil Magny. I finished this guy. He won 3 in a row now, always fighting with a tough guy. I'm doing my job good. This is the most important. I finished this guy, and I show to the world I'm ready. If I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't care how many fights I need to make to go to the belt, to back to the rankings. Doesn't matter, brother. I'm happy with the opportunity and thankful with UFC, with Sean Shelby, with everybody to give me this opportunity. And I'm going to show to the world who I am.
Well, last question from me. You mentioned that you're looking to punish Jingliang upon your return because you said that someone has to pay the price. How will you be approaching this fight, and could we possibly witness some violence from Santiago Ponzinibio this weekend?
Man, 26 months, the abstinence. I need to beat somebody. The big mistake he make in all his career is accept the fight with me. I'm gonna injure this guy. I'm gonna feel a lot of pain. and knock him out this guy in the second round.
Well, I look forward to return this weekend, and good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Santiago. You're all set.
Thank you.
And we will be joined next by UFC welterweight Carlos Condit. We are now joined by UFC welterweight Carlos Condit. Carlos, thank you very much for joining us today.
Of course.
We'll take our first questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cateside Press. Your line is open.
Hey, Carlos, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Feels like people have been talking about this fight forever. How does it feel to finally be days away from getting in there with Matt Brown?
Feels good. This is the third full training camp I've put in to prepare for this guy, and we finally get to get in there and get it done.
I wanted to ask about that. You prepared for him, obviously, 2013, again, 2018. How has the training and strategy changed for him over the years, if at all?
Well, you know, even though I didn't get to fight him those last times, the skills that I worked on are still there. So I didn't have to build a whole new skill set. It was stuff that, you know, just basically kind of refreshing things that we had already done. So, so I guess that was a plus. That was a positive.
I mean, you're obviously a veteran of the game. This is going to be another one of the biggest names in the welterweight division, just adding to your resume. At this stage, are there still guys that you're looking to add to your list of opponents, or is it just about taking who they give you?
I don't. There's a number of guys that I would like to test myself against, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's always new dudes. There's always more talent coming up, and you know, I love to challenge myself. So you know, there's a few guys that I'd like to fight this year.
I wanted to ask you about something. I know you just spoke with the in-person media there on the island that this is the last fight on your UFC contract. I am wondering, you know, win or lose, if they were to say, you know, like, thank you, Carlos, for everything, would you still be interested fighting anywhere else?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'd consider it. I mean, I love what I do, and if I can still get out there and, you know, get paid to fight people, I think I'd entertain the idea of fighting for another organization.
Final question. A lot of people are excited about this matchup. The fans who are going to be there in person are excited. How does this play out in your mind?
You know, it's cliche, but don't blink. I feel like I'm going to get this thing done.
Hey, thank you, Carlos. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic. Your line is open.
Carlos, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Sorry, I just wanted to touch on you were talking about opponents, and I'm just wondering at this point in your career, what are the kind of fights that you're looking to be involved in?
You know, like part of me wants to test myself against any other guy in the division. Part of me wants, you know, probably a bigger part of me wants bigger money fights that there's a lot of hype around. So, you know, I'd like a rematch maybe against Nick Diaz if he comes back, something like that.
And would it be fair enough to say that the title aspirations are kind of on the back burner, and it's more about adding to a complete legacy?
I'm just enjoying the ride, man. And I'm continuing to improve as a martial artist. As far as the title, first things first. I gotta stop Matt Brown this weekend, and then we'll see.
And on that note, if you go forward a little bit in time to look back, how valuable does a win over someone like Matt Brown? How does it resonate for you over your career as a whole?
I think it depends on how I get it done. That's what's important. I intend to go out there and do it in violent fashion. Stop Matt Brown, and I think that'll be a feather in my hat for sure.
There was talk. We just spoke about the last fight on your contract. Hypothetically, if you could script your final fight in the UFC, what would that look like?
I don't know. Nice, bloody, violent finish, and then I guess I leave my gloves in the octagon. I don't know. I haven't thought about a script for it.
Possibly the most important question of the day. I saw on your Instagram you've released a pair of jeans as a coalition. How closely related are they to the likes of Chuck Norris's jeans?
Mine are better. You can throw better kicks, more powerful. Mine have a little bit of stretch, which adds to the elasticity of any kind of a kick that you want to throw. So yeah, you can tell Chuck Norris I said so too.
Fantastic. And the last question, being from South Africa, a very young MMA nation, we always look up to guys like yourself. What advice would you have for young MMA prospects on the rise?
Get a well-rounded skill set, take care of yourself. Longevity is, I think, dictated by how you live your life outside the cage. Don't spar too hard. Don't get hit in the head too much. It's all good advice.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir, and best of luck.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Damon Martin with MMAfighting.com. Your line is open.
Hey, Carlos, you've had a lot of opponents, over the years, and you've had fights come and go. Some fights get scheduled, they don't happen. Obviously, we know you and Matt Brown are both savages, but what is it about this matchup? Do you feel like people have been so excited about it because, you get booked twice, and a lot of times it just falls apart. We never see it again, but it seems like everyone wanted to revisit this fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're both aggressive fighters. Both very skilled strikers. Everybody wants to see a striking battle. I think that's the thing. I mean, we're well-rounded guys. We're MMA or we're mixed martial artists, but people always want to see a striking battle between a couple of guys who like to get after it.
Absolutely. Your last fight, obviously a big win for you. Court McGee showed a ton of toughness. I think a lot of people would have gone away in that fight. We saw what his nose looked like afterwards, and he talked about that. When you look at Matt Brown, do you see that same kind of toughness in him? He's kind of that guy, that gritty veteran. Obviously, always gunning for the knockout. Do you kind of put him in that same kind of category as a tough opponent you'll have to work to put away?
Yeah, I think Court has a stronger chin. I don't think that has anything to do with toughness. Matt's sure tough as hell, as tough as anybody. I think Court is not as aggressive, but more technical. Matt is way more aggressive, but I think less technical. So, there's some similarities, but some differences as well.
You've had opponents that you've had to go hunting for, and I know that can be frustrating as a fighter when you're striking and a guy doesn't seem to want to engage or whatever. When you look at a Matt Brown, I don't think you're going to have that problem. He's kind of a hard charging, set for kind of guy. But do you feel like that actually gives you more opportunities? You think I think of a fight like Dan Hardy, a guy who's willing to exchange with you, we saw what happened. Do you see Matt Brown in that same kind of mold?
Yeah, I do. I know where he'll be. He'll be right in front of me the whole fight. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have plenty of opportunity to capitalize.
I don't want to hammer too much on the contract stuff, but I am curious, since this is the final fight in your current deal, was that a conscious decision? Like, did you want to get to this point to where, I'm not saying you want to test free agency, but you want to, re-up, maybe figure out where your future lies? Because obviously you're at a point in your career where I imagine money, bigger contract, like those things have to matter, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I mean, my performance over the last couple of years has not been stellar. It's not been the best period of my career as far as wins and losses. So what's really important is putting on a good show on Saturday night, and then I think I'll be in a good position to kind of figure out exactly what I want to do.
And last one, following up on that, we've seen other fighters go into this situation. It does raise the intensity, raises the expectations. They kind of gamble on themselves. We have seen it pay off. Jake Shields did it years ago. We saw Anthony Pettis just doing his last fight. He kind of gambled on himself. Obviously, got a big win and obviously inked a new contract with a different promotion, but obviously built on that. Do you kind of enjoy that pressure, saying, hey, that what comes next will kind of be determined by this performance?
Yeah. I think that's how it is anyway. That's how the fight game is. And all of this is a gamble. We get to ante up against another guy and put everything on the line, and, winner takes all. And that's the beauty of it. But that's the thrill of all this shit. Even more so when you're up for a new contract.
Thanks, Carlos.
We'll go next to Omar Mert with Esport. Your line is open.
Hello, Carlos.
Hello.
Carlos, MMA is changing every day, and you will be fighting an old-fashioned guy just like you. How does that make you feel?
I'm excited to fight him. I think Matt and I are cut from the same cloth. We're both fighters at heart. We do this because we love to do it. We love it because we like to get in there and throw down. And so that definitely gets my blood going.
Okay. What do you think about Abu Dhabi and Fight Island? Do you have a chance to tell about a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. No, I had an amazing experience last time. It was incredible coming out here and just being involved in this whole experience, and then obviously getting the win like I did last time. I have fond memories, and I plan on making some more.
Okay, my last question, Carlos. As an MMA fighter or a fan, what do you think about Conor versus Dustin fight? Do you have any prediction on that fight?
Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I'm a fan of both those guys, and I think it'll be a different fight. I think Dustin has come a long way. I mean, he was a great fighter back then, but he's matured quite a bit, and I think that he'll at least give Conor a run for his money, if not come out with the win.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Jordan Wahlberger with The Horn. Your line is open.
Hey, Carlos. Good to talk to you again.
Hey.
Hey, you came back after 20 months off, and looking back now that you have that win over Court McGee, what did you learn or gain from that time away?
Patience. No, it was tough having to, I guess, wait to get signed for a fight and then getting injured, having surgery, coming back. I mean, it was not ideal. And, I guess at the end of that, coming away with the win against Court, that I still got it, and that my formula still works.
you and Matt Brown, obviously, you guys are both warriors. You've been obviously in some absolute wars. So is he. You mentioned before that you're excited about the fight. Kind of what makes you excited, and also how much do you respect Matt Brown as a fighter?
I got a ton of respect for Matt. I got a ton of respect for anybody who steps in the octagon and puts it on the line. But Matt's a hell of a fighter. He brings it. If he gets dropped, he's had a lot of fights that he's been in really, really bad spots and turned it around and come back. And that says something about a person. I forget the other part of your question though.
Just why are you excited about fighting him? Like, obviously you guys both have a ton of fight performance bonuses, and so how do you expect that to go in the fight?
It could go a lot of different ways, but I'm gonna fight smart, and I'm going to, I'm gonna take him out, and that's why I'm excited. Get out there, get a good finish against a tough opponent, get paid, go home.
Obviously, you mentioned that it's your last fight of the contract, but you've been fighting in the UFC since 2009. You were in WEC before that. Your first pro fight was in 2002. What are your goals right now in fighting?
Just to continue to improve, continue to grow as a fighter. I got a pretty tough test in front of me. That's my goal. I got short-term goals. The next 4 days, that's what I'm focused on.
All right, Carlos. Hey, we can't wait for the fight, and especially to see it showcased on ABC. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll go next to Sumik Dada with Sportskeeda. Your line is open.
Hey, Carlos. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing well.
Thanks.
So 2020, as we know, was a pretty unusual year for all of us, but you made your return after a 2-year gap and finally got back on that win column as well. How would you describe this past 1 year has been for you?
It's been interesting. It's man, I don't even know how to describe it. It's had a lot of time to chill and train and hang with my kids. Some good stuff, some bad stuff.
So you previously mentioned that you're interested in money fights moving forward in your career. Do you have any particular name or an opponent who you consider as a money fight?
I keep going back to the fight with Nick Diaz. There's a lot of hype behind Nick, even though he hasn't fought in a long time. But that could be, but I don't know. That's off the top of my head. That's the one that I could think of. That's not a title fight.
So would you be interested in fighting him if he comes back this year?
Yeah, for sure. I said that before my last fight. Still interested in that fight. So we'll see. I don't know. I imagine he would want that fight. That was I guess somewhat of a controversial decision, even though it was a unanimous decision. And I feel like I won the fight, but a lot of people don't think so.
So speaking of opponents, he'll be facing Matt Brown this weekend. Now, after the last win, you kind of put him on notice by saying that he needs to be bubble wrapped just so he could make it to the fight. Given that this fight has been booked for the 3rd time now, is there any sort of bad blood between you, or is it just usual business for you?
There's no bad blood on a personal level, but professionally, it's been annoying to train for this dude and then have him pull out. And the first time around, I didn't even get a replacement fight. So I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad we get to actually fight.
So last question from me. With a victory this weekend, you'll be on a 2-fight win streak. Now, I mentioned that this will be your last fight on your current contract, but if you do stay around in the UFC after this, where do you envision yourself in this stacked welterweight division?
Just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm wherever I am. They'll call me up and tell me who they want me to fight, and get it done.
I look forward to your fight this weekend, and good luck to you, sir.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA. Your line is open.
Carlos, I just want to touch on the Nick Diaz rematch potentially. Since you last mentioned it at your last fight, and now, and obviously you mentioned it again, have you spoke to the UFC or had any word that that's something they're interested in doing?
No, I think that depends quite a bit on Nick and if he's actually coming back. So, no, the fight that the UFC wanted was this fight against Matt Brown. I was even lobbying to fight Mike Perry when his opponent dropped out. I forget who dropped out, but anyway, I wanted that fight, and that didn't happen because they wanted this one. So.
Okay, and just before you said you mentioned about enjoying the ride, and how much more enjoyable is it coming into this fight off the back of a win? It's been a while since you'd had your last one. It does it feel like the pressure's off now, or?
I just, I keep using the word momentum, but I definitely have built some momentum, and not just, I guess that's kind of like an intangible thing. But I got right back into training camp. I felt great. I was in good shape. I'm building on the different things that I was working on before. And I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
And just reflecting on your last fight, you said that you felt like you've still got it. You've still got it against Court McGee. You felt that. In terms of levels, do you feel like you're 100% still?
Yeah, I do. I'm a better fighter in some ways than I was in the past. I've developed in different ways. I have a deeper skill set. I've worked quite a bit on some of the holes that were in my game in the past, and I'm excited to get in there and show that, prove that.
Okay, well, can't wait to watch. Thanks for answering my questions.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you very much, Carlos. You're all set.
Thanks, guys.
This concludes today's UFC Fight Night Holloway versus Kattar Virtual Media Day. Video recordings will be sent out later today. UFC Fight Night Holloway